So this is in fact a very hot take, but unfortunately for you, it's also a very wrong take. While yes, Enel is extremely strong, and he would beat a lot of the villains that came after him, he's not making it to Wano. In an SBS, Oda explained that if Enel came down to the Blue Sea, he would get a bounty of 500 million berries. And while bounties aren't necessarily a power scale in and of themselves, they can be useful to figure out how strong someone is. For example, Ace had a 550 million berry bounty, Luffy got a 500 million berry bounty after beating Doflamingo, and Usopp currently has a 500 million berry bounty. Considering the fact that Enel isn't likely to cause any sort of political uprisings or directly oppose the world government, it doesn't seem like his bounty would be that high for political reasons. So I think we can very safely place Enel's power in the ballpark of the Warlords. So, based on all this information, how far would Enel make it? I think Enel stops at Doflamingo. Because remember, Luffy got his 500 million berry bounty after defeating Doflamingo, but he did that with the help of Law. And so it stands to reason that Enel would not be strong enough to beat Doflamingo, especially considering that Doflamingo has very strong haki, which Enel doesn't have a lot of counters to. Enel would not have done well against Luffy's enemies in Whole Cake Island, and he definitely wouldn't do well on Wano. But I don't want this to sound like I'm downplaying Enel here, because there are a few fights that he would win that Luffy lost. Most specifically, I think Enel would have beat Magellan. I have said in several previous videos that Magellan as a character would beat a lot of top tier characters simply because of how his powers work. But Enel's powers would be an extremely good counter to Magellan. Enel doesn't need to touch Magellan in order to hurt him, and Magellan's poison isn't going to protect him from lightning.